Hey onesies, Josh Williams here, and thanks for checking out the One Man Podcast. There's now over 200 episodes and dozens of bonus interviews, all of which are available at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Google Podcasts, and many more. And you know what? If you don't have any of those apps, no big deal, because you can listen anytime at onemanpodcast.com. So be sure to subscribe because it's always free and there's a new episode out every Wednesday. And while you're at it, leave a review. It's a great way to help the podcast and it doesn't cost you a thing. Follow One Man Podcast on all the major socials and you'll get bonus content and pictures, fun stuff for yourself. And finally, if you have something that you want read on the show, send it to contact@onemanpodcast.com because if you send it, I'll read it on an upcoming episode. Thanks so much for listening, and I hope you enjoy.
What's up, everybody? This is DJ Demers.
I'm K. Trevor Wilson.
Hey, it's Krista Allen.
Hi, this is Rick Mercier.
What's up, guys? This is Paul Verzi, and you are listening to the One Man Podcast. Yeah!
My name is Josh Williams, and welcome to the One Man Podcast, episode number 226 for Wednesday, September 8th, 2021. How's it going, onesies? How are you guys doing? Are you having the best week ever? Is it the best time of your lives? Is everything that makes you allergic dead yet? It's not with me, not yet. But this is the One Man Podcast for anyone who's tuning in for the first time. There you go. There's a piece of information. Number one, I can't speak. If you're tuning in for the first time, welcome. All are welcome here. I appreciate you guys being here. What is the One Man Podcast? Well, it is me, comedian and earthling Josh Williams, telling you about what's going on with me. Every week I tell you what I just did in the previous 7 or so days, depending on how late this thing gets out, but it's on time this week. And I just let you know what's going on with me personally, professionally. I've got all sorts of things to talk about this week. I'll be telling you guys, I got a couple little random thoughts that I had here. I just wrote down on my list. I'll tell you guys about that. Saw some movies, went out for dinner, been working on some things. I got a top 5 for you guys, which I hope if you're listening to this while driving, as a lot of you are, this week's top 5, I will let you know in advance, just so that you might be a little bit more mindful of your behavior. This is the top 5 awful driver habits / behavior. So just some different things. Now, it's not necessarily on the road. Just if you have a car and you're driving it, what you do with that car, we're going to be talking about the top 5 things that I don't. We're, Josh, what do you mean we're? I have another guest host this week. This week, my guest host is the one and only Crystal. Thank you for being here, lady.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, isn't it weird? So formal to be like, hey, thanks for being here. Right? Like we weren't going to be together tonight anyways for other reasons. So I've got something. I want to kick this right off. So if it's your first episode, you may or may not, be aware of me and all my life stuff. But I wanted to tell all the onesies. Now, some of you are already aware. You've reached out and you've got the feeling that you may have thought something was up. I just wanted to tell you guys that it is, it is official. I am back together with the love of my life. And I feel good. I feel happy. If you guys go back to the very beginning of this podcast, episode 4, you co-hosted with me.
I did.
Yeah, we went to go see some movies and got some chocolates. You can go all the way back, guys. That episode has even been scrubbed and remastered, so the audio is better than it was. Episode 9, we got back from our trip to the ocean, and you co-hosted with me there. But like all things, guys, right? Nothing in this world is perfect, and we've had our ups and downs, but I just wanted to say that I'm glad you're back.
Yeah, it's good to be back.
Yeah. Now, for some of you guys who are listening to this, you might be like, "What? I didn't know." Well, when we started talking, it was back in the end of April. So this is not anything new for me. It's not like, one of us just called the other and said, "Hey, want to give her the ultra college try?" We've been building towards it throughout the pandemic with conversations and things like that. I don't intend to go into anything super specific or anything, guys. I just want to say that we have been, we've been happy. We've been doing things and we're doing good. So, a few friends have mentioned that, and they said, they're like, you know what? I've heard you lately on the podcast. You sound happier and you sound more. I'm doing very, very well, guys. I'm not unhappy. I'm not, in a shitty mood. And, I attribute that largely in part, of the relationship that I have been fostering with the lady here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you seem very quiet right now. Do you want to?
I'm just letting you go out there. You're doing a great job.
Oh, thank you. So it's just, I just want to let you guys know that, yeah, you may have noticed in the last, few months that it's like I get to spend more time with the kiddos. Because again, safety with, things coming into quarantine or whatever. So a lot of people just picked up on it. They're like, oh, you're mentioning, Crystal a lot lately and you guys had conversations with this. So things are going very, very well. So I just want to say that. And I'm very glad to have her back in my life and looking across the table, you back in my life. It's not new. This is again months, but just for those of you who may be like, oh my God, don't be shocked. This is not something that just happened overnight and here it is. We're doing well. So again, anyone who's listening for the very first time, you're like, wow, this seems like be like what's the saga? I'm like, I mean, my my journal is out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But it's been a piece in the making, right? We didn't want to just jump in. We're taking our time. We've got a history, but we've learned a lot of really good tools and things are going well.
Yeah.
And we're getting to the time where we're comfortable. And
yeah.
I know it's been a bit of a roller coaster. And
excuse me.
It's nice to be in a comfortable spot to say, hey, we feel good. And we're happy.
Yeah. It was a long climb. It's like Uma Thurman going up those steps in Kill Bill. You know what I mean? But it's worth it.
Yeah.
It's worth it. I feel good. And now we're here, guys. Listen, if you guys have relationship questions, we're here to help.
Experts now?
Yeah, no, far from it. But we're here to help. All right? We're here to help. And no, I'm kidding. We're happy. And it feels good. I don't want to spend too much time on it. I'd like to talk about just our week or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Maybe over time as you jump on these with me, if things and stories and stuff come up. But
sure.
I just, I also wanted to just mention, just so that it's out there again, if anyone who's interested or whatever, it's not like a honeymoon phase where just everything's just been great. We've been able to talk about, old things that came up and we did them in a healthy way. It's not to say that we sat and, weren't like a couple of vegans in the glebe going like, now the thing is, but like we've had some heated conversations. But I think the communication has been like unbelievable. Like honestly, God, unbelievable. And when I ask myself, I've told you guys, I talked to a therapist, even saying to my therapist, like I couldn't have hoped for it to be better. If I was like, what would it look like if, I'd be like, well, it'd take some time to but I couldn't have hoped for these results. The people that are close to us that we've let in on it, who, may be like some of my listeners who are like, but isn't that a kind of thing that's often, you know what? Everybody seems to be on board. A lot of people see us and see how happy we are. So again, not to go too long on this. I'm sorry, onesies. I know I tell you guys everything that's going on with me.
I'm sure you've heard a lot about me. Hopefully not too bad.
But the thing is, I wanted to take my time with it. Both of us want to take our time with it, not just jump in and be like, hey, everything's bad. Like very, very happy with how things are going. I feel good. I feel really good. I have hope again. And you guys listen to me bitch about roommates and all the crazy things going on with my life. And I even have other announcements to tell you guys in this episode. This is not even, this is not the only major announcement. This is the best one I'm the most happy with.
I think so too.
Yeah, absolutely. But I just wanted you guys to know, and you're going to hear more of the lady. And I feel good about being able to openly talk about things that we're doing. So, there's times in the past few episodes that I've said, like, went out and saw this movie or went and ate here or whatever and was just ambiguous about it, about what was,
It was me.
Yeah, it was
me.
you. Yeah, we had a lot of fun times together. So that this episode 226, now we can talk about our week.
Yeah.
Just for clarification, we're not living together or anything. It's not like that. But it's just when I say our week, we do spend a lot of time and I value it. It's great being with you and away from those animals. Can I just say that? Everyone knows what I think of my roommates.
I like hanging out here better too.
Yeah. Definitely.
Here being my place.
Yeah, that's right. We're recording on location at Casa de Crystal. Right? Hey, listen to that.
You pressed it.
I pressed it. Yeah.
First time.
So I got some new tech. A little bit of new tech make my life a little easier when doing multi-mic'd interviews, episodes, whatever it is. I picked this up today. I picked up some new tech. I'll tell you guys about that. I'm going to tell you about some movies. The lady here and I went to dinner. We went to go see a movie. It's the second movie we've gone to see since things started opening back up. You stayed awake.
I was about to say the second movie I passed out in. This one, though, I think I only slept for like 20 minutes.
There you go. That would be, I would love to see that, right? Everyone's like, oh, phenomenal masterpiece from, American Journal of Film, whatever. And I'd be like, I only fell asleep for 20 minutes of it. Crystal
That's
Martin.
That's got to say something, right? It was way past my bedtime. It was like 9:30.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Well, and we'll talk about that. We watched movie Werewolves Within. We'll talk about, you and I have been watching American Horror Story. I was talking to the onesies about how I bought a box set or whatever. We bought like the entire series off of iTunes or whatever, because we'd both seen 1 and 2. You'd seen 3, 4, and 5, but you're like, we should watch them together so that we can see what's going on with them. So we've both burned through seasons 1 and 2 of American Horror Story.
Yes.
We'll get to that too. So I'm just giving you guys the Coles notes, right? I've been feeling a little under the weather, but I think it's very heavily allergen related. Like I got the allergy sensation in my lungs, in my throat, in my sinuses. Now I had allergies before, then I got sick. I started to be on the mend and I feel like shit again today.
It's the time of year though. They say it's the worst it's ever been.
I hope so. I hope it's not a reaction to my vaccination. Ooh, vaccine controversies.
Oh, don't even.
Oh man, there's a slurp. Is that the first slurp of the episode? No. That's not me, you guys. It's like a ventriloquist, right? Yeah, there you go. Now she's officially sworn in as a co-host on the podcast. You got to slurp into the mic. I got an email to read. Like I said, we got our top 5 coming up. So we're just going to get into the meat and potatoes of the episode. 10 minutes in. I just wanted to say officially welcome back to the podcast. And for the onesies, welcome back into, knowing exactly what's going on with me. Because for, a few months now, I have been sort of tiptoeing around it. Wanted to tell you guys. And for what it's worth.
He didn't want to. No, I'm just joking.
There you go. I promise this will only last for a couple of episodes, if not the only one here. But the new tech has like a sound pad, so it had like stuff built into it. So
we needed aww.
Yeah, we can change them.
Yeah?
So I picked this up today. I'll tell you what, I was going to start with something different, but we may as well start with that. So onesies, I spent the last couple of days when I was at home, looking at, so I had the podcast with Michaela. I've been moving some things around tech wise, and the old Zoom H6 that I used, love the recorder. It does everything I need to do, but there's a few things that are a bit of a pain in the ass. I need a second piece to have multiple headsets. So I have a recorder. I put in a plug into the headphone out. Normally it's no problem. I'm the only one by myself. So I just plug in my headphones to that. And I listen. It's a lot less stuff. Whenever I bring stuff on the road, not only do I need more mics and mic stands and headsets and things like that, but I actually need to bring some extra pieces of tech, like something that plugs into the headphone jack. A cord plugs into that, and then it plugs into the separate unit, right? It's like a 4-way splitter, which allows me to have multiple people's headphones and things like that doing it. So just the old plug-in power on the H6 was frustrating. It would, if I was uploading files and stuff, if you even tapped it, the cord would loosen, and that wasn't like, oh, did I drop it and break it and bang it or anything like that? It would just be. Nope, it's just a loose connection. There's a reason that mini USB didn't last long, and micro USB has been like the standard for the longest time. USB-C is even better, even faster, and this new Zoom recorder that I'm using has USB-C for the power source and for transferring information, everything like that. So it's a really easy upgrade. The bottom of the unit has headphone jacks and volume controls for everybody, so it's less intermittent pieces to have to bring. I don't have to bring an extra power supply to power the headphone splitter and things like that. It's just an upgrade, but it also has a sound pad on it. It has a sound pad with 4 buttons, and at any time I can press one of those buttons and the preloaded stuff is in here. For example, if I tell a stupid joke, I can give myself a little rim shot at the end. Yeah. And there's the C button. That doesn't matter what button it is, but there's one button where if I press and hold it, hey, applause. But the second I let go, it stops, which is kind of like abrupt. I don't like that. I don't know if that's super annoying for you guys, but I'm sure it is. But yeah. So, hey, that's what I was supposed to welcome you back with that. Hey, welcome back to the podcast, Crystal.
Hey, thank you.
Oh,
Yay, thanks
is everything good with you? You got to.
No, sorry, my Brody called. So I was like, doing a podcast. I'm super important right now, but I will call you back shortly. Just making sure it's not urgent. Sorry.
Of course. No worries. I just want to make sure we're on the same.
Absolutely.
As long as there's no emergency, because I could totally pause this if something important.
Yeah,
was
no, I
happening.
think we're in the. I've got no response. That's usually good news. No news is good news, right?
Yeah, exactly. I got this new podcast recorder, and the thing too, guys, it came from me doing some. From me doing some soul searching and research about the video stuff. So I told you guys for some time now that I want actually, that would be completely incorrect. I was planning on switching the podcast to video. Switching is even not the right word, because I was going to keep doing the audio podcast for those of you who wanted it on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and all that stuff. But some of you are like, hey, where's the video? We want to see you. We want to see video podcast. And the amount of research I did, backdrops and cameras and editing software and editing techniques and things to do and how do I put graphics up. I got to be honest with you guys. I don't know if you've noticed this, and feel free to jump in with me.
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep the lady involved, but I've got a lot to say about the subject. There's so much work involved. And I told you guys about this in the past, all the different work involved. I'm when I'm on YouTube, there's times where I'm looking for a subject or whatever. If that video is over like 10 minutes long, I don't even want to watch it.
True.
You know what I mean? Like there's too much.
What?
No, you're doing great. You're like, true. Like Andy Richter.
I acknowledge what you said. Come on, I'm trying here. I don't totally relate.
Do you
you're
watch
obsessed
YouTube
with
at all?
YouTube.
No, that's where I go for my reviews and my soap suggestions. Mm-hmm. Do you watch YouTube at all?
So I do. I do it a lot for like movies I want to dig deeper into. You know, if I want to know more about them or how they were made or whatever, I do them for that. What else do I do it for? I used to watch stuff on Big Brother.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if there's anything of interest. Sometimes I'll watch like the best of a show I like just to have on in the background.
Yes.
That's about it though. I don't do it often.
But generally speaking, when you're looking for one of those, if you get the results that come up, you know, did you ever look at them based on how much time? Because a lot of people do that.
Again, it all depends. If I'm looking for something just in the background, like the best of The Office, then I'm happy if it's an hour because I can just let it stream.
Right.
But if it is, it all depends. It all depends. I don't mind if it's, again, explaining a story or something of a movie I just watched. Maybe I don't mind 15, 20 minutes.
Okay.
But maybe not past that.
Yeah, that's the whole idea. And this podcast on a good day is an hour long minimum. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I've done 2-3 hours and I can't justify, you know, hitting record on the camera and just recording me one static position, whether it's well lit and HD or not. Mm-hmm. After a while, it's going to be boring to have just one static shot. People are going to look away. Their tension's going to fade. And the thing is, I feel like to make it interesting, I would have to be editing and constantly putting up graphics and this and that stuff, just trying to make it fun because I'm crazy. Yeah. Cuts. So the idea is it have to be cuts to cut out all of the ums and uhs and moments of silence. And that all takes time. It takes so much time. There's so much, like, again, my friend Ryan McGlunn in Toronto, who did like a video game one, he says it takes like an hour every 5 minutes of finished product video takes like an hour of editing. So I was just like, well, an hour would be fucking 120 hours. You know what I mean? Or whatever it is every 5 minutes. So it'd be like, no, it would be like 12 hours. I don't have a day to devote to chopping or whatever. And it's not like my YouTube views.
A day a week.
Yeah, exactly. A day a week. Right. And I wouldn't want it to be, or the alternative is just have it sit there and be boring. And even that takes more time to edit it and sync the tracks and stuff. So, for those of you who are like, oh, I always bitch on your podcast. I'm not bitching, but I haven't played.
I was just going to say, I think this has been a huge debate for you because you've gotten feedback about doing it. I'm sorry. Yeah. About doing video. And it's been this thing lingering over you that you've been like, yeah, this might be fun. You've done so much research. You've been asking me about lighting and all kinds of stuff. And I think just making that decision, I think you feel you need to justify yourself because I know people have been requesting it. So I understand. Yeah,
it's absolutely true. And that's the thing, guys. I want to make you guys happy. So every now and again, when 2 or 3 people are saying, hey, you should make this thing video, it's like, Yeah, but I like that I can hit record with a microphone plugged in and then it's audio. I don't have to wear pants. I don't have to do my hair or put on a certain attire or whatever for something. I like the idea that I can just do it in my boxers or lay in bed with my handheld. I can still get you guys the podcast. However, with all the research I did, I like the idea. In fact, with the videos I'm watching now, as I enjoy being able to look up something, and go, oh, I want to know more about that. So I'm going to throw this video out there and see what I get. I want to do little funny comedy review videos. I don't want to put a shitload of stuff into them. I'd love to make the 5 to max 10-minute mark videos. I think that short and sweet, review something, a new burger comes out or some of these wacky soaps that I'm trying or like whatever it is. You guys can
make
even
it
suggest.
Funny.
Yeah, you guys can suggest it. I don't have a problem being an absolute ham on the videos for these things, but the idea of the podcast is its own thing. I like what it is, and I feel like trying to make it video. You'd see me you guys listening to it would hear me doing things that were trying to pander to the viewers. You know what I mean? Not that I would want to pander, but the whole idea is like, oh, is this entertaining? Is that there's way more work in advance, way more work afterwards. I think the One Man Podcast works absolutely fine as audio only. There's lots of really popular podcasts out there that have never gone video. Still very, very popular. But that isn't to say that I won't be doing things with the cameras and the lighting and everything I've done. It's just going to be a different thing. So I'm very happy and comfortable saying the One Man Podcast is not changing how it's being created. There we go. Go for it. Yeah. I am very, very comfortable to let go of that anxiety because after however many weeks it's been since I got the cameras and everything, I still haven't even taken them out and played with them. I haven't set up the light. Like I bought ring lights. I set them up and tried them once and then back in their things and up on a shelf. So I haven't been in a hurry because it's been an anxious thing for me. But for those of you who are like, yeah, I can't wait for this thing to go video. Sad day for you. Not happening. At least not yet.
Stay tuned for other adventures.
Yeah, there's going to be other things. I will totally do stuff and I'm not going to make it Patreon. It's not like, oh, well, we'll do these little funny comedy reviews and then you got to pay for them. It'll be available on the YouTube channel, and I'm going to use the same One Man Podcast YouTube channel. I will put it out there, and that'll be the Josh. I have a Josh Williams comedy YouTube channel too, but I think that maybe it would be better to just put this. Things. You think so?
I think
even the
so.
Reviews, the comedy reviews.
I don't know. No, it should be Josh Williams comedy.
Put that in the comedy one. Okay, yeah, I'll give you guys more details as we come up to it. Of course, I'll give you more details as I have them. But as it stands, yeah, I got, like I said, this new podcast recorder. So far, I think it's doing fine. I guess I'll find out later on tonight when I switch this over and put it up for you guys. I got a lavalier mic as well. And I got that for the idea of doing the YouTube videos, is instead of using a mic with my face and trying to, show you guys angles of whatever product it is I'm reviewing. I think a lavalier, which is like a little clip-on mic and records in a little pack on my belt, will make for videos easier. So just for what it's worth, rather than spending too much time talking about this, is that's an announcement. Podcast to stay in audio only. We will have video stuff for, so those of you like, oh, I want to watch you do stuff. Listen, I will be whacking crazy on stuff. I will get the kiddos involved. I will get the lady involved. There'll be lots of opportunities to see a little bit about what's going on with my life in a video format, but it won't be because the podcast is now 1.5 hours to 2 hours of video long. I don't have the time or the desire. If I had 50 million people downloading this every week and 500,000 were begging for video, I go fine. But I don't think that doing video would bring me, tons of new viewers or anything like that. If I had those kind of numbers on the audio only, I would feel like maybe there's a demand for the video as well. It's just not there, and I can't devote 12 hours. That's if it's 1 hour long only. I don't have that to make it, exciting and cuts and things like that. So yeah, I think I'm going over the same thing I already said, and I apologize, guys, but I just want you to know it's not to disappoint. I went down this insane, anxious journey to try to please those who asked. It's just I'd be turning it into something that I wouldn't like, and I'd really like. You guys think I'm late now because I can't talk to it for 1 hour or so on certain days. Like, imagine having to find the time and tired. I can kind of fake it, but rubbing my eyes on camera and just like shaking my head like, ugh. I don't think that makes for good YouTubing. All right, gang. So yeah, moving on from that. Got to say that. I'm getting so many things off my chest. How are you doing? Are you falling asleep over there?
No, I'm
You're
good.
doing all right?
Yeah.
How about you? Anything you want to talk about before I move on to another subject? I have no expectations. Anything
Regarding
fun,
your
exciting?
microphone?
No. What's it like being back on the podcast? It's been like 3-4 years.
I don't feel as nervous as I did the first few times. I remember that.
Yeah.
The first couple of times. Yeah.
Talk to me, because I don't get nervous.
Ever.
Like not in this
Like
kind of
ever.
thing. So can you tell the onesies who listen what, like, some of them, if they're like, oh God,
Yeah.
because people sit in front of the mic and they kind of freeze up. What are the feelings, like the concerns of just for fun? I'm just,
Yeah, no, that's fine. I guess I just don't like the sound of my voice. I think I sound like a young child trapped in an old body. I don't know. So, I guess that's it. And I feel like I might say something stupid.
really, that's the whole point of this podcast. I say stupid shit every week.
I think that's why I'm comfortable with it.
Yeah?
You know?
Yeah, I say I always
I
sound
hear all
like
the stupid shit you say. No,
I sound
I'm
like the
joking.
most dumb person on this every single week. And I love it. People are like, why don't you do your research first? I'm like, it's not funny. If I
just
know what
want
I'm
to talk
talking
about shit in my head.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely I
Google,
do.
go fuck yourself. Stuff in my head.
Yeah. Oh, I love the goofy shit in my head. I even have one for this week. You know what's funny? I've done a million different interviews in this, and I always feel like I can't hear myself directly in front of the mic.
Oh, I'm moving around too.
No,
I
you're
hope
fine.
I don't sound really weird.
I can hear you. I can totally hear you fine. And it's always like, I'm right in front of it. Why is the person who's not right in front of it sounding better than I am? I don't know if it's working. I also haven't set it up like this in the way. I really like the arm on my desk, so I can just pull the mic down over my head and it just hangs there. Way more free space. I don't love the stands. Hey, you know what? The job gets done. I don't know why I'm trying to complain, but you're not feeling nervous.
No, I do a lot of public speaking in my day to day too that I never used to do before. So I think I just don't care. Like, I'm good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
Eh.
I got some good news for the onesies. Let me take this opportunity to plug something that I think is great news. This is just a little free tip from me to you. A&W, guys, burgers, all right? A&W burgers right now. As of today, which is September 7th, this is coming out for you guys tomorrow, A&W is offering $2.50 mama burgers. Hey, how about that? That was not me. That was the lady. You just love pressing buttons.
It's so fun.
It is fun. We'll have to put in, we'll have to figure out what ones would work.
I think you should hire me so that I can just be behind the scenes and I just sit in a corner and you just
press a button when you feel
Crystal, press the whatever, and I just bloop bloop bloop. You know,
You'd like that?
that's me.
She's a button presser. Yeah, but I would like to get rid of those other two. Because the other two that are there, there's like 4 buttons and they all have a sound. Apparently the thing comes with 12. But I guess
Wow.
I guess they figured that like these would be the best ones. So there's like 2 kind of like funky little tunes. Mm-hmm. And then applause and a rim shot. And I really don't like the idea of like me telling a joke. And then like click, click, cling. You know what I mean? You guys know that? Do you guys know that that's called a rim shot? That's called a rim shot. Some people know, some people don't. So if you're ever like, oh, I need one of those, you know. Well, I don't know.
Sounds like something else.
Yeah, rim. Yeah, careful. It might autocorrect you based on your search history.
Yeah.
Goes from rim shot to rim job there. What do I got here? Guys, I've been still, I think I mentioned this already. I've still been feeling shitty. Yeah, you said this time of year has been busy for a lot of people in terms of the allergies making you feel shitty. Or I'm just getting old and this is results of the vaccine. That's the panic that I have in me. I was like, oh God, I've got the Delta variant and the vaccine has made it stronger. I don't really think that. Back to A&W, guys. $2.50 mama burgers. All right. This is very exciting
Holy
for me.
shit, this roadmap's all over the place.
Do you like A&W burgers? You're always...
I do.
Yeah?
I like the matzo burgers.
Yeah?
Yeah, with the cheese and
Yeah.
bacon.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they're not bad. That's true.
Yep.
That's true. They're not on sale right now. But the mama burgers are.
Those are a runner-up.
Yeah, but they're $2.50.
I know, but you have to ask for cheese.
You
What
have
kind
to?
of burger doesn't have cheese? I want a mama burger with cheese. Like,
Right.
it's not just a given. Come on, it's a fucking cheeseburger.
It's not. It's a mama
it's a
burger. Right?
Yeah, but mamas like cheese.
Sure. But you never know. I think I mean, you're right. You should have cheese on it. But for $2.50, I can handle a fucking $2.50 hamburger.
Yeah, but it's not normally $2.50.
You can't get a McDouble. No, you're right. It isn't normally that. But for $2.50, I will fuck up a procession of mama burgers.
Okay.
Yeah. I get the onions taken off them because I don't like onions. They put too many onions in the burger. I take off the onions and I extra pickles that motherfucker.
Ew.
Yeah, that's that
Do
promotion.
you ask for cheese?
No, I'm cheap.
Oh.
No, because the cheese is like $1.
It doesn't even taste the same. Like, bleh.
Okay.
But cheese, I don't know. It's just so good.
Well, so listen, guys, you can actually find yourselves a wonderful little, special, unless you need cheese. If you have to have cheese.
I'm sure it's only like 50 cents.
I don't know. A lot of places are like, do you want extra cheese? It's 80 cents per. You want cheese, bacon? And now you're like, okay, it's a $5 burger again by the time I put those things on in tax.
Might as well get a matzo.
You love that matzo burger. We've got Michaela here. You want to say hi? Mix was my co-host last week. A lot of people said that she sounded great and the episode was good. You want to lean in and say what's up to the onesies?
Of course I sounded great.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys...
confident gal.
Yeah, I don't know if they heard that. I don't know if they heard, you were kind of far away.
Wait, did you hear it though?
Kind of, but I'm worried Auphonic might scrub you out when it cleans it up afterwards. So you
I don't
can...
remember what I said.
Come closer.
You said, of course I did great last week.
Of course I did great last week.
Yeah, absolutely you did. And now we got the Michaela Senior co-host.
I don't like senior.
No.
I mean, I am.
No, well, you're not. It's also not like one of those like, oh, I've got the name. It's not even the same name. So senior and junior, they don't even work. Women don't really do that, right?
No.
They don't name their daughters the same name as themselves. You know why? Because women don't have that level of ego.
I had a friend that did that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
She
Michaela had
a
a
female?
friend that did that.
Come tell the story. Come in the mic.
So, the mom had the exact same name as her daughter, but there was like one letter that was different.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was the only.
Do you think she
difference.
just misspelled her own name on the birth certificate?
Probably.
That'd be really, really
It'd make
funny.
a lot of sense.
Do you remember the name? Just the first name?
I'm not gonna say it.
Okay, you don't have to.
Yeah.
I was just curious what kind of name it was. I always feel like, yeah, okay, you'll tell me afterwards. Okay, that'll satiate my curiosity. And if you guys really, really want to know, send an email. Contact onemanpodcast.com.
We still won't tell you.
We won't?
I'm joking. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Whatever.
I don't even know
we'll
what it
ask
is.
Michaela's permission.
Yeah, I was just the first name. If it's like Mary, you'd be like, oh, fuck, I have to find every Mary that has a daughter named Mary. I feel like that might be like an Italian thing, like Marie and Mary,
Yes.
like those names. I feel like, is it? Oh, I'm getting a point from the kitchen. I might be close. So yeah, I feel like it's one of those things because Italians always name, like seen in Goodfellas where they're like, oh, Peter and Paul. Oh, she's Italian.
I'm not saying the name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I was right about them being Italian. How about that? Huh? Every now and again, this guy might know a little something. She was going to reach for the applause button again. I saw that. Why did you hesitate?
I don't know. He who hesitates.
Is that what I was saying?
Yeah. There's the next part that I just totally forgot. So I'm just going
He who hesitates, and then you hesitate. That's pretty funny in and of itself. Nice.
I nailed it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like I said, like a Goodfellas, they're always, they were all named Peter or Paul or whatever. And I feel like, and then, married to women named Marie. But I just feel like with Italians, it's a lot of like the same names over and over and over again. Is that a stereotype, Josh? I don't know if it's a stereotype. It's definitely an assumption on my part, an unresearched one, but you saw how right I was a second ago. So don't make me make assumptions at you. I might out you on something. You, the listeners, not, I'm not pointing across the table or anything like that. Yeah. What else? I thought that was a good news, guys. So if you're in Ontario or anywhere in Canada, you get some cheap burgers. I'm ashamed to admit, but I don't want to hide this. I had 4 today. I had 4 mama burgers.
Wow. With extra pickles?
Yeah.
And no cheese?
Yeah. Could that be why I'm having such bad heartburn right now? I had a bunch of
could be
vinegar
it.
cucumbers.
Yeah.
I had 2 on my way, and then like later I was like, oh, those are so fucking good. Did 2. That's all I've had all day. And they are 600 calories each, which means I'm rocking 2,400 calories, which means I'm under my daily allotment as a male of my size, 2,400 calories. Totally acceptable. I mean, I did have a little bit of cream in my coffee and in my tea and stuff like that. So there's probably like a little bit more caloric intake here and there.
Yeah.
But compared to normally what I would do, I mean, the truth is I'm probably going to get 2 more on my way home. No, I won't because you have a sad face. Why are you?
I don't have a sad face. That's a lot of burgers.
Yeah.
A lot of the same thing. I like variety.
Yeah? What kind of burgers are those?
The works?
Oh, yeah?
I don't know.
I like variety
Thinking
too,
of
but
variation.
I cheap. So like $2.50, you can't even get like a gross ass like McDonald's burger. I'm talking about like the basic ones. You're like, oh, I'll have a McDouble, like the cheap burgers or the Buddy burgers or.
Mm-hmm.
That's no, nothing.
Hey, I don't know what to say.
Where's your burger joint?
Where's my burger
Yeah, your go-to
joint?
fast food burger joint.
I don't mind Wendy's.
Yeah.
Wendy's, it all depends. I think I have to be in the mood for it, really.
Okay.
Wendy's, Harvey's can be okay sometimes. I sometimes crave their burgers, and then afterwards I'm like, okay, that's it. I'm done.
Yeah, where's that?
Harvey's.
You know, I got great news, guys. Turns out that on that particular segue, may as well. That's the actual funny fucking thing about this podcast is, should I just do that? That'll just move on to this piece of news. So I told you guys that I was interviewing for something and I'd tell you when I knew more. There is another Harvey's tour coming up, right? Harvey's RV cross Canada. Now you look sad.
No,
But-
I'm happy for you.
But yeah, so I got asked, I interviewed for the position and I was asked to be like co-lead for a cross country tour with Harvey's. So I will be in an RV in cities across the country handing out free burgers. Stay tuned. You guys will get to hear all about that. You know, if I'm in a town near you, come get yourself some free food. Onesies who reach out, I'll mail you some free burger coupons. You know, like there's lots of fun stuff coming, but it's gonna be a grind. I'm gonna be gone for a while. I leave October 11th is my first understanding of that's like the first day of the tour, October 11th. So I will only be home for part of December and the month of February. So it starts October and it ends at the end of April. So it's exciting. It's good money. It's good experience. It's on the road doing some fun stuff. A lot of small time. It's winter. I'm kind of dreading some moments of it. I'm excited. I like the person I'm working with. I'm disappointed that I won't be seeing you for a while, but maybe absence will make the heart grow fonder. Mm-hmm. You'll be super excited to see me when you do see me.
I'm still excited to see you.
Yeah. No, I know. I'm going to be homesick. I think I'm going to get homesick. Mm-hmm. And it'll give me an idea of like if I ever climb to the heights of comedy where I'm on the road for a while doing stand up, it'll give me an idea of what it's like just being gone for a while. But it's gonna be fun, guys. That happened literally today. New recorder today. I talked about that. A&W burgers went on sale today. Got asked to do the tour today, and this was like, I've been interviewing for it. I've known for a couple of weeks, that they were looking at me, but I've had a lot of work fall through last minute, a lot of opportunities offered, we're looking at you. Would you like this? Okay. We think you're our guy. And then, I end up reaching out. They're like, oh, sorry, they went a different direction. It's like, that's fine. I just would like to have known. So this one, it's been offered to me. It's only been offered to me verbally over the phone. So there's no contract. There's no ink signed.
But it's looking good.
It looks good. I've been asked. Yeah. They've basically contacted the other applicants and let them know that they're not in the running anymore. Mm-hmm. So, assuming I don't have the Delta variant or something, it looks like I'll be leaving.
So worried.
See, you're going to make me want to do this thing video again because all of your facial expressions that no one can see, they just hear a deep breath and they don't get to see you like the funny looks you're giving me. Yeah, guys, it's going to be fun. And of course, I will still be doing the podcast from the road. In fact, I'll probably be way more punctual with it because I'll have a whole lot less to do in my spare time. So I'll bring all this gear on the road with me and record on the road in different towns. I'm hoping to have a lot of wacky stories, meeting weird people in remote little areas, but won't be in BC, British Columbia. For my American listeners, that's right above Seattle, Washington state. So West Coast will not be doing that. There's no Harvey's there, so I don't know why there isn't, but there isn't. Isn't this a great podcast, hon? I'm keeping your attention very, very well.
What?
I'm just teasing. Yeah, no, it's fine. I'm just teasing. I'm actually low energy because of the antihistamines and the headache and the hard to breathe. But onesies, I love you. Look what I did. I brought another person to carry some of the weight of this podcast. Having said that, Let me see here. We've got the movies and stuff that we want to talk about. And I feel like that's one that we can both get into. You know what I mean? Because you know, it's not me talking about some work thing or whatever.
Oh, no worries. No. I'm all engaged. I've just had an extremely long day.
Yeah.
That's all.
She did. And I won't go into it, guys, because it's her privacy or whatever for work. But yeah, you had a rough day. You had a rough day.
Yeah, but hey, I'm good. Like,
Yeah,
it's good.
no,
I'm
you're
with
great.
you. I'm with you. I'm just.
You're great. No, I can't even
tired.
defend myself. I'm wiped. I'm wiped. I don't feel good. But onesies, the show must go on. That's how much you're loved. Forgive me, gang. We've got, so ever since we added all these plants here, because I talked to the onesies, I told them when we painted.
I know.
the
I
living
remember
room.
that podcast.
Yeah, we talked to them and said, hey, you know, we did some work. We painted. We did all sorts of fun stuff. We added a lot of greenery, and with great greenery comes great whatever minute flies or something.
Yeah, there's like these little black, little buzzy things. And at first I thought it was just one, which is fucking crazy. What, they live like 24 hours, right? There's no way there's just one. But there was always one buzzing around my face when I'm sitting on the couch watching TV or just having a tea or whatever.
Have you considered maybe you stink?
Thanks. I thought about it.
Yeah.
Might still be an option. I'm not sure. But I killed it. And I was like, yeah, I killed it. 2 seconds later, another one's buzzing around my face. I'm like, there's more than one. Well, clearly there's more than one. I was insane to think it was just one.
Right.
But it's got to be one of these plants.
There's so many plants here. Easily a dozen. Easily a dozen.
Right? Oh.
And
by
different
far.
species. I noticed that the little that little purple and silver plant that we bought.
Yeah.
It's called a wandering Jew.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is called a wandering Jew, and apparently it goes back to like it's named after this guy who made fun of Christ in Golgotha when he was, you know, carrying his cross or whatever. He's like, hey, please don't tell them, let me go, whatever. And it was like, no, you're gonna have to. And then Jesus cursed him to wander around forever until he returned. I read this on Wikipedia today, but
Okay.
yeah, it's also called an inch plant. But I like wandering Jew better. But they're gorgeous plants. Ever since you gave me the one, and I've had it in my room, and it's growing and spreading and going nuts, I get little flies, little tiny flies that clearly. The only thing I want to know. So here's the thing: I could totally get like, you know, flies are like, hey, this is a totally great place to set up shop. We got shade, we got whatever, and then they start breeding in it and whatever. And now you got flies. I get that. Where does the first one come from?
Yes.
Is there like these fucking flies just wandering the earth, and
Like
then there's
fruit flies. Right?
Yeah. Where's the first one come from?
Fruit,
Yep.
or no fruit flies. Then you leave out fruit, and in a second, now you've got a ton. Like, where
does that
one?
first fucking one come from? I guarantee you, like, I'm gonna have to YouTube it or something later. I'd love an explanation of where does the first fucking one come from. And now I know that there's some things like bed bugs, when they bite you and they get blood, they can reproduce on their own. They don't need or they fuck once and then they can reproduce whenever they want. There's insects that are like that. So I don't know if these fucking horror flies are getting banged out in the streets, right? Then they're with child. I'm doing air quotes. Right, they're with child, and then they're like, "Oh, get in out of the cold. Oh, what's this plant?" And then they give birth. I just want to know how do they survive without a spot? You know what I mean? These homeless horror flies. I'm literally trying to grab one as we speak. I don't think I was successful. But I've got them at home too. Like, again, these are not fruit flies. All right, it's not a dirty home. It's a very clean home. But do I have any, like, I guarantee I don't have any fucking hippie listeners or whatever, because they're all too busy mad at me that I don't know about tofu or something. But I would love to know anyone who has plants. Like, I started using the Dyson to vacuum them out of the air.
Yeah, I do it with my big vac.
Oh yeah? I just I rattle the plant, they all scatter, and I gone.
Yeah.
Love it.
To do that.
Love it. It's genocide. Well, not genocide. I'm not killing every one of the species, but I genocide any of them that come in my house. Do you know what I mean? Because I if I could communicate them, I would say, look, you can stay, just get the fuck out of my grill. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? It's the ones that are right in your face. Like, it's always like it's just going to land right on your fucking nose or something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The only other ones I really dislike are any kind of bug that decides to come in and sit on my TV. I'm like, listen, there's other sources of light. Go like, again, I'm very passive. You know what I mean? But get out of my face. Get the fuck off my TV.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all. I think that's fair. I will let you live rent free.
Yeah.
But get the fuck off my TV. Get the fuck out of my face.
My face. Just get off my face. I don't even care about the TV as much. That is annoying.
Yeah. It's usually like a moth that will sit right in a fucking...
flutter around.
Yeah. And you're just like, get the fuck out of here. Yeah. So, yeah. But I'd like to know where the first one of these fucking things comes from. You know, are they coming in pregnant? Or is there one that just lays low and doesn't even fly around until it finds a mate? And then it's like, oh, now we can breed and we'll just be an annoyance radiator.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like they're like that. The plants are like fucking bug diffusers where they just start to fucking put out bugs into the air after a while. Not a fan. Not a fan. That wasn't even on my list. We just experienced that while we were sitting here doing this. I wanted to bring up, what are we doing for time here? Oh, guys, 43 minutes. We're gonna hit the hour easily. I wanted to say this was a thought that I had the other day, and feel free to chime in. But you know how everybody, like, this happens in comedy clubs a lot. A lot of people act like, you know, when they see senior citizens, I was gonna say old people who are old. You can see the person before the disability, but people who are old in the audience, they're always like, oh no, these blue hairs or whatever they call them. You know, oh, they're not laughing. No, it's, you know, they just don't, they're too sensitive. They're too primitive. It's funny when people treat old people like they're somehow more delicate. Mm-hmm. And I was just thinking about this driving the other day and I was like, you know what? I don't think they're more delicate at all. They've been around. They've seen it. Is that a plane flying over your head?
Yeah, what the fuck is it?
I don't know if it'll even make the final cut, but yeah, we're near the airport. So it's like you'll hear planes.
Yeah.
We're not poor.
Rumbling quite a bit.
Yeah. That's always like a cliche. It's like, oh, you live near the airport or near train tracks.
No, we're not that close.
We're not that close, but you can.
But we're not that far either.
Yeah. We can get there like 5 minutes. Yeah. But the whole idea is just people act like seniors or whatever. It's like, oh, they're sensitive or they don't have a good sense of humor and like we got to be delicate around them. And it's like, no, they've already heard everything. They've heard everything. When you're young, you're laughing at dick jokes because, oh, you're not supposed to say dick in public and this person's saying dick, right? Seth Rogen and James, whatever the fuck his name is. What is his name? Please help me.
James Franco.
Thank you. James Franco are saying cum on, you know, and they're talking about cum and they're talking about weed. Ha, 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 ha. Right. As you get older, you're just like, yeah, you can't shock a laugh out of me, at least not with the same stuff. You said dick in public, right? There was the era of Tom Green and Jackass where people are just doing absurd things in public. I've said goofy shit in public. You know what I mean? And some people laugh because they're surprised someone would say that. And then you've heard it a million times. So you just roll your eyes when I'm being a fucking animal outside. But the whole idea is that like old people, seniors, whatever you want me to call them, the spent, no, I'm kidding. They've already heard all this stuff. They've heard all the penis and whatever. And just after a while, you're like, it's not funny. Saying dick or cum isn't going to elicit a laugh. It's not because they're sensitive. It's because, yeah, I've seen it a million times. You got any other tricks? That's why I think as you get older, you appreciate creativity more. Like when you're looking at old people, like, why would you want to go look at a museum or something? It's like, because they've seen all the basic shit. They've watched all the, you know, reality shows and sitcoms and, you know, they've seen that kind of, what they want to do is something that they haven't seen before. Looking at like something that, you know, is ancient, that has survived and the artistic talent back then that sure, now we've seen a million times, but back then it was like, yeah, really, this one guy covered in cow shit was just making pots.
Yeah. You
know, little craft dolls out of ivory or whatever, you know. I don't know. It's I think that seniors don't get enough credit. My whole point was that old people are not boring or not fun. It's that they have a better developed palate for humor and funny. So you can't just walk up to an old person and be like, dick and cum. And they're like, oh my God, they've seen it. It's old. I'm sure they laughed about it when they were young. Now you got to come with a little more, no pun intended. You gotta, you know, try a little harder to earn the laugh versus just thinking that, you know, you can say a dirty word and they're going to laugh. You know, it also has to be relatable too, right? If you're doing stand-up and you're talking about Tinder and things like that. Yeah. Like, again, this person, not only are they not looking for a relationship, but they've been 10 years free from when their spouse died or whatever. Like, the last thing that they're looking for is like, oh, let's just jump on an app and oh my God, like Can you imagine being like 80 years old and being like, oh, sexually active? Doesn't that sound painful?
Yes.
What, am I saying too
It
much?
would. No. Yeah, absolutely.
What are your thoughts?
I don't know.
Is it a delicate subject or just
No. My thoughts on the whole the old part
Yeah,
is like,
The Walking Dead.
I think it all depends. When I was my first job, so I was like 16, 17, I worked in a deli.
Yeah,
And I remember there was this older gentleman, he was like 75.
right.
And he must have he was trying to keep himself busy, right? So we got a job at the deli.
Oh, really? Okay, I thought he
Yeah.
was just like a customer.
No, he got a job. So I'd work with him some evenings, and oh my God, the dirty jokes that would come out of this guy's mouth. And it was so like obvious dirty jokes, so inappropriate and so awkward.
Were they funny, at least?
To a degree.
Okay.
And he was a fun guy, so you just kind of went with it. And it wasn't like he was being inappropriate to you, but he was definitely saying these like dirty jokes. But I don't know. I think it all depends. I feel like I've met quite a few people, older people who try to make you laugh with very basic, simple little dirty jokes.
Yeah, it's almost like their Alzheimer's has made them forget that these jokes have been around since they were teenagers. I still appreciate it's funny because it's like, goes back to that polite thing. Like they're trying to, hey, I'm fun. And you're like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? Like it's nice that you're making the attempt. This is all I'm saying. This is very, as much as I'm fucking around and joking about calling them seniors and blue hairs and all that, is I'm trying to say that like, they're not more delicate than us. You know what I mean? Like to me, those are the real judges. If you can make a senior laugh, that's not like, they're crazy and all whatever. Like a lot of them are like I've heard everything. I've been around a long fucking time, and that made me laugh. Like you know, that's worth it more to me than making a bunch of fucking 20-year-olds laugh on TikTok because I threw a turd at my neighbor or something. Like, you know what I mean? Like that stuff. I don't know. I like Borat. To me, walks the line of like sometimes clever. Yeah. And sometimes you're just laughing because he's in a thong bathing suit. You know what I mean? Like, oh, that looks gross or funny.
Yeah.
Right. But then you'll have moments where he'll have a conversation with someone, and the ignorance that he's pretending to have in a certain subject, it's very funny, the direction that they've gone in that. I'm like, oh, and that's clever.
Yeah.
It's funny, but like, yeah, I mean, watching someone jump off a roof and hurt themselves. Oh,
totally. That's
I'll still watch it.
Younger class of people, I guess.
Yeah. But it's funny. There's guys out there who like will just eat or drink whatever you tell them to. And I'm like, you're going to give yourself liver cancer. You know what I mean? From just putting all sorts of drinking paint or paint thinner. It's like, you're killing yourself for views. Right. But you're young. You think you're in what? Talk to me.
So where do you stand with this, with the enjoyment of watching like Jackass and stuff?
So it's funny because when I watched, and I talk about that, I really liked it when I was a kid. It was like they could do no wrong.
Yeah, of course. Right. But I mean, we've watched a little recently and you're quite into it.
I was enjoying it, but we also, when we watched it, speaking of which, shout out to Onesie Ivan, who hates being called a onesie, but he is a onesie nonetheless. Ivan reached out to me recently and said that the Jackass movie has been pushed back to 2022.
Oh, yeah.
It was supposed to come out September, if I'm not mistaken, and it is now pushed into 2022. So bad news there. But regardless, the Jackass is interesting. I don't care for when they do poo and pee stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know if I ever really have. It's like you could go, oh, it's subjective. Like something like there was one thing where they had like a model, a little diorama of like trees and forests and everything, and they just painted a guy's ass to look like a hill in this forest, and then he just shit and it fired out of it. So I guess it was supposed to look like Old Faithful in Yellowstone or something like that.
Yeah,
the guys are and it was just like, I'm like, that's not clever, or it's just a guy shitting.
Yeah.
You know, some things I'll watch just to see if someone would actually subject themselves to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm not laughing. It's not funny. It's like a train wreck. You're like, I can't believe like when Steve-O did like a bungee jump in an outhouse and there was shit and piss everywhere. Like it was gross, but I'm like, I sometimes I go, there's an engineer who's designing the bungee cables to attach to a porta potty with like the harness inside, all those things.
Yes.
And it's just like, this is just a giant shit joke. You know what I mean? Like,
that's exactly what it is.
like I went to school and I'm working on a big Hollywood production, and it's like, it's a
this is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a shit gig. Like, and you know, no pun intended.
Yeah.
So it's, I don't know. But I just mean, like, thinking about, like I said, thinking about seniors, it's just like, yeah, they don't look at it and go, that's, pfft. They're not doing that because they never had a sense of humor. Mm-hmm. It's more or less that, like, do you know how fucking old I am? Do you know how many shit and piss and masturbating and cum jokes have just flown my way over the years? And like, yeah, I laughed when it was new. It's not new anymore. You got to find new creative ways to win those laughs. So I don't know. It was just a thought I was having while I was driving. I was like, yeah, they're not sensitive. You know what I mean? They're not like delicate. They're harder to impress. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what I'm going to gear myself towards too, is just if I can make the seniors, you know, there's people on stage doing Tinder jokes. That was another thing I was thinking about. It's like when you're talking about like Tinder or Hinge or Snapchat or
that's
TikTok.
Not appealing to the older group.
Yeah. If you're playing a college, sure. But like, know your audience. If you're talking about that kind of stuff to a 70-year-old, if I'm doing a Legion, you know, not bragging.
Yeah.
But if you're doing a Legion, you're like, oh yeah, I was on TikTok, right after getting off Tinder, and you're like,
it's not relatable.
No, it's not. Why don't you talk about how an iPhone works or something like that? You know what I mean? Like, I mean, they probably have more. I'm not actually suggesting that, but I'm just saying, well, you may as well be talking about. Mm-hmm. Why don't you talk about transgendered rights to a room full of 70-year-olds? It's just as relatable. I'm not saying it's not important, but it's just like
just not as relatable.
Yeah, know your audience. Clearly, they're not there for Tinder jokes. They're not there for, you know, they've been through a lot. I don't know. Impressive. I don't know. That was something I wrote. That was literally the first note that I put on my thing this week. And I was just like, yeah, that's something I just thought I'd throw out there in case there's young people that listen or whatever. And they're just like, oh yeah, we don't talk that way around Nana because it's not that she's going to take it the wrong way or whatever. It's a parlor trick. They know that.
Yeah.
They're not upset that you said a word that they've definitely heard before. They're more disappointed that that's the level of creativity of a family member. I would guess. But hey, if you disagree with me, contact at onemanpodcast.com. I'd love to hear your hate mail. If you're out there and you're old and you disagree with me, you're like, no, I'm not fun. And I just don't like those words because they're crude. And Jesus said not to say them. Then, okay. I look forward to having that. Yeah. All right. Let's talk about some movies and stuff. How about that?
Yeah.
You and I went to dinner on Saturday.
We did.
We went to Milestones, free plug for them. It's like a nice restaurant. I had Air Miles. We got a gift certificate. It was a good reason to go out. What did we have? We had fish tacos.
And then we had this amazing, beautiful salad.
Yes.
And I don't even like salad. It was so good.
You like veggies more than I do.
That's true.
Yeah, you're good like that. You put veggies with every meal. You always have a veg with every meal.
Yeah, I always had a veg with every meal when I was younger. It's just something kind of stuck in my head.
Smart. You're actually getting vitamins and things like that. Whereas like me, I'm like, I'll make a plate of pasta, no vegetables in it. Be like, you know, meat sauce.
Oh, so much carbs.
Yeah. That's why I look like I look and you look like you look. Because you're healthy and I'm Jabba the Hutt. But what was I going to say? We did, here's the thing. I remember the price of the dinner and now I'm looking back at what we actually had. I'm like, wow. We had 2 fish tacos.
Yes.
Not even each. We ordered a plate of fish tacos. There was 2 of them. We each had 1.
Yep.
They were not good.
Yeah.
Not good.
I think though a big part for me was there was cilantro in the sauce.
Yeah.
And I just can't fucking stand cilantro.
Yeah.
And so the whole thing kind of ruined the taste for me.
Yeah.
The texture was weird in the fish too.
Yeah. That's what I didn't like. I didn't hate the sauce, didn't love it.
Yeah.
But I've had fish tacos all over the place. Mm-hmm. We had 2 of them and I think it was like $18 or $19 for 2 of them.
Yeah.
So they were $10 fish tacos each.
Oh, wait, we got some like weird root
fries with it. Yeah. They're like, do you want some root fries? And it was like root vegetable fries. And I was like, sure.
The beets were good.
It's gross. I hated them all. They were chewy. And when he brought them to us, I was like, "This. I've never done this before." I ate a couple of them. They were like They were an upcharge for them. That was the thing. It was an upcharge to get it's only $2, but to get these root vegetable fries, like they were somehow better.
Yeah. They definitely weren't better.
Not better at all. So we each had like one or two, and I was like, these are weird. They're chewy. It's like if you've ever had home fries, guys, and you didn't boil the potatoes enough, or if you just, you know what I mean, that raw potato inside texture, it was like that. So I even asked one of the other servers, I go, did you? And they're like, oh, do you guys not like them? And they're like, no. They're like, we don't like them either. I was like, really? And I even told my server, I go, hey man, listen, I'll still pay the upcharge, but can I just get regular fries? These are, you know. And he's like, oh yeah, no worries. I'm not a big fan of them either. And I was just like, why?
If
why
nobody
not
likes these
warn
damn
them?
things.
Yeah, yes. If no one likes them, why are they still in the menu?
But apparently it's new, right? They kept saying it's brand new. We're trying it out. But like, okay, then
Yeah.
if all
Well,
the waiters don't like
They should cost like a new employee.
Yeah.
A new employee makes less because he's not as experienced. Why is the new fries making $2 more than the old fries?
True.
You know what I mean? You're new and nobody likes you. You know? I don't know why you're making more money than me. Anyways,
True.
we had that. We each got a beer. We got these fish tacos, thumbs down milestone fish tacos. You can go to El Camino and their tacos are expensive. They're like $7. Those fish tacos are way fucking
Are
better.
they?
Yeah.
I haven't had a good fish taco like in a long
I'll take you. We'll do it. We'll do it soon. We'll do
Cool.
it soon.
I will hold you to that.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's expensive place. Like you pay like $7 a taco and they're the same size, if not less than the one that we just had. But again, if I'm paying $10 for it, it better be good. This was very disappointing. And then we both had the same salad. It was like a beet salad.
Yeah, it was beet. What was it? Beet and something. But there was like beet, pecan, blueberries, arugula.
Yeah. Feta cheese or goat cheese.
Feta,
was it feta or goat?
Goat.
Goat cheese in it. And then you had the salmon and I had the tofu.
So
Crispy
good.
tofu, which wasn't. It was just like soft, mushy tofu. It was honestly same texture. It looked and had the same texture as the feta. So every time I put one in, I was like, oh, is this going to be feta or the thing or whatever? Or not feta, I keep saying feta. Goat cheese. Goat cheese is infinitely softer. Yeah, I gotta say I didn't, the salad was fine.
The tofu you didn't like.
Didn't
right?
like the tofu. Again, when you're charging like $6 more for, you know, I don't know, whatever. I sound like I'm just never happy. That's not the case. It was a good meal. I had a great time with you. We sat outside, had a nice heater right next to us on a relatively chilly night. We weren't dealing with heat outside. It was like a little chilly. The heater was perfect. We hadn't had a beer in a while. It was great. I love the ambiance. But I think like all included was like $100. And then I was like, okay, $100 for 2 salads, a fish taco and a beer. Pricey.
Yeah, but it's milestones and it's the experience you're paying for too. You know what I mean? I don't know. They're a little bit, it's just a little bit.
I'm finding a lot of places. Maybe things are just getting more expensive and I'm not noticing.
It is. Everything is going up.
Yeah. Yeah. I still had fun. I had a blast. We had a great conversation. I don't even remember what it was about, but we were just having a good chat. So it was nice. And then we had to like get the fuck out of there to get to our movie. We had pre-purchased. Now this was the second time we went to go see a movie since quarantine, and going to see movies used to be our thing.
Yeah.
You and I went to go see Black Widow. That was the one. We went to go see Black Widow, and you got like a real bad headache or migraine.
I think the first time I've ever had a migraine, I couldn't see. Like it was bad.
I was worried.
Yeah. I don't know if like work's been a little stressful, if it was just a really long day, but like I kind of made myself fall asleep because I couldn't keep my eyes open. It hurt too much.
Yeah. Yeah. And in the car the whole way back, you were just, you had to close your eyes.
Yeah.
You weren't feeling well. I was really worried about you. We pick a movie theater, in particular because it has like recliners in all the theaters. You don't have to pay for like a 3D movie or VIP ticket or anything like that. Like this one, just all the theaters have recliner seats. It's amazing. But it's also like probably one of the farthest movie theaters from your house. So I was just on the way home. I was really worried about your headache and everything. This is a while back.
Yeah.
This is May, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Like Black Widow came out in May.
Oh, I feel like
and it wasn't out for so long. Maybe June.
Maybe.
Yeah. But I just remember like being concerned about you. And now that was it. So we talked about like maybe giving it a minute before we went to go see another movie. So we did decide to go see another one on Saturday. We picked seats further back in the theater because we were pretty close.
Yeah.
We went to go see a movie called The Night House because it looked like a good horror movie or whatever. One that we, we're horror people, right?
Yep.
We watch a lot of horror shit together. I don't know even how to describe this. So
Yeah, it was weird.
yeah, in the theater, you were mildly comfortable.
Yeah, it definitely. Also, it generally had this darker tone to it because it was the atmosphere of the movie.
Right.
So it was really nicer on my eyes.
Not
And
a lot
we
of
were
action or anything like that.
not
The
that
camera's not
much.
flying around
We
on
were
you.
further back, so it was nice.
Yeah. You did fall asleep, which is fine.
But I think it was just a long day. It was Friday. I've had the whole week. Like, I was just tired.
Exactly. No big deal. The movie itself, so I don't know what part you fell asleep at, so I don't know how much you'll be able to.
I think it's when they gave away what was happening. Honestly,
really?
Because I got up and I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's an odd movie, guys. It looks like a woman's being haunted by something. You're like, oh, what is this? The movie, it has your attention, but then when you find out what's going on, and everything, you're like, that's it. Like it wasn't bad. Here's the thing too. Again, I've told you guys a million times this. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a good score. That was a good, compelling argument for us to go see it. But it had some very good tension. Some of it didn't make sense. Like they had basically short version of the story is a woman is married. Her husband kills himself. And then she's like, oh my God, I don't know who my husband, like, why did he do this? And then it seems like he's got secrets. Who was he? Why did he do this? Yada, yada, yada. Explore. Had very like What Lies Beneath vibes. The Harrison Ford, Michelle Pfeiffer, Robert Zemeckis movie, What Lies Beneath. So it's like, what are his secrets? And who was my husband? Did I even know him? And then as you learn more, you're like, what's haunting? Oh, is it her husband's haunting her or whatever? I won't spoil it, but it was just like, it was just odd when you find out what actually happened. You're like, oh, but it ends in such a way that there's no resolution.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It would be like, I like, without giving away any of what's actually going on. Like imagine a movie had a moment where someone was like, a ghost was trying to like say it was Paranormal Activity and the ghost is dragging the bitch down the hall. Like imagine if she just like kicked her way free of the ghost and then ran back to bed. Like she freed herself of her interaction with it.
Yeah.
And then it was just over. And you're like, well, you got away from it, but it's still there. Like,
Exactly.
What are you going to do tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
And that's just the movie, like you find out what this thing is, but there's still no resolution. It still has,
Yeah. It's like she bypassed one encounter.
Right.
And then it's like, okay, but because this, what's happening, that it's just going to keep happening.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
good luck, lady.
Yeah, exactly. There's no resolution. I can't even say that they're like setting it up for a sequel or something.
No,
it was just,
I don't think they should.
No, I totally
I
disagree.
think they've told their story. It's over.
I would say thumbs down for going to see it in the theater.
Oh, yeah.
And-
Don't go see it in theater.
And if you have any other options, pick the other option if you're at home. If you're looking for movies.
Yeah.
Wait
till it comes on Netflix or something.
Yeah, exactly. We saw another movie called Werewolves Within.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. This one is based on, so I've talked to you guys about Werewolves Within before. It's a VR game that Michaela, my last week co-host, loves playing. They've run out of they still have servers to play it, but you can't it's based off an old game called Werewolf. It's a game with cards. It's a party game. You deal everybody, at the table a card, flip the cards over. Some of the cards will say werewolf on them. Some will say villagers on them. And it's a social deduction game. People try to figure out by asking questions and things like that, who's a werewolf and who's not. And they vote for people to eliminate. And if the villagers all get eliminated, then the werewolves win. And if the villagers find out who the werewolves are, it's just very, find out who the other team game is. It's fun. The VR version, Werewolves Within, was made by Ubisoft. And it's just a fun little VR. You put on a helmet, you're sitting in a circle with other people, and there's different roles besides villagers and werewolves. But the whole idea is that everyone's role has something that they can, do. They can tell if there's a werewolf to the right or the left of them or something like that. And the whole idea is that if you're a werewolf or something, you got to bluff. You got to say that you're this person. No, I'm not this person. Because someone says like, hey, I found this out. And it's saying that someone to the right of me, either so-and-so. Or it's just a deduction. Use the clues you have. Try to figure out who's the bad guy. Mm-hmm. Okay. And it's a fun little game. So, well, this movie, Werewolves Within, is based on the video game. And the whole idea is it's a funny kind of comedy romp where people are stuck in a small town, and there's the cliched characters, the ranger / sheriff. There's, the postal person, the local hunter. Like, it was just, it was honestly just an excuse to put a bunch of people together and try to figure out who's the werewolf. The comedy in it.
It was great.
Yeah.
I really liked it. It was fun.
It had a lot of charming comedy in it. If you look at it for a werewolf movie, it's shit.
Yeah, no, just enjoy it for what it is. It's a little funny, a little mystery involved.
Yep.
And it was a good watch.
Absolutely. Yeah. Funny jokes. I would go as far as to say some of the humor was very like The Office.
Yeah.
It wasn't done in that documentary style where
but like awkward humor.
Yeah, like a guy's trying to console someone. He's sitting in a chair and he reaches out to them to try to like rub their arm, but they're just out of reach, and he's just trying so hard. He's like,
yeah,
it's a little too far, and he just puts his hand back.
Gives up.
It was just funny, like just funny humor. The characters are like, a lot of them are very cliche. They play the roles well. It's not like a shitty B horror movie where like we need to have all the characters, but then you can just tell everyone's trying too hard to be those roles. It's charming because they don't take themselves too seriously in this movie, and the humor is very obvious. I watched that with you and Brody.
Yeah.
Surprisingly mixed. The one person who loved that game, she didn't watch it with us.
Yeah, she wasn't up for it.
Yeah. Did you get a chance to see it the next day? Really?
Oh, I wonder if we still have it. How long? Oh,
I think we just did it 2 days ago, so it would be done tonight.
Oh, that's too bad.
We did it on Sunday. The good news, Mix, is it wasn't incredible.
Yeah, that's why I didn't watch it.
Yeah. But it got good Rotten Tomato scores. It was like 70s or 80s. So, but again, if you watch it for like a silly movie that's based on a video game and to be funny, it has that. It definitely has that.
Yeah.
If you're looking for a scary werewolf movie, there was a point in the movie that we were like, is there even any werewolves in this?
Yeah, we really thought this is just,
Yeah.
I mean, werewolf in the title is they're fucking with us.
Yeah, we thought like maybe it's one of those things where somebody thinks that somebody's the bad guy and there really is no one. It's just, they all just lost their minds being suspicious of each other.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was Werewolves Within. I think, why don't I save American Horror Story season 1 and 2 conversation for another time?
Do you want to?
Well, I'm looking for it because the thing is we still have the shittiest movie and the top 5s.
Okay.
And we got to read Red's email. So I will just say for anyone who's like, we can talk about the other ones because I haven't seen Coven. So I'll cover Coven once we've watched it.
Yeah.
Freak Show, is that me? Is that you?
No, it's me. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah. Okay. We watched both, and we kind of watched it on our own. We did either watch an episode together, but we watched Freak Show together.
Yes.
We're not quite done. We have a couple episodes. That was season 4 of American Horror Story.
We'd both already seen 1 and 2, so we're really just watching them on our own to kind of like
Catch
recap.
back up. Yeah.
Yeah. Since we're watching them all, so we can kind of see those connections.
Yeah. We'll be starting Coven soon, but we still, I'd say we still need to finish Freak Show.
Yeah,
and then it goes,
left.
yeah. And then it goes on to all the other ones we watched, the Hotel and Roanoke Election or whatever. What's that one called? There's an apocalypse one.
Yep.
Somebody was saying, apparently
1984 or something like that is one of them.
Yeah, because that's supposed to be like the horror slasher type movies.
Yeah.
I think that's the one when you're watching it on Disney Plus, the chick on the dock with the tits every fucking time.
And the marshmallow right by the eyeball. Have you seen that? It's
yes.
like,
the little teaser window. And then the
Yeah.
one when the episode's over is like someone laying on the dock. And you see the killer stand there with an axe at the end
Yeah.
of the dock. But who like sunbathes on a dock at night?
Oh.
But if you guys are interested in seeing the show, I can definitely vouch for season 1 and 2 of American Horror Story. Again, different stories every season. It's on Disney Plus.
Yep.
It's on the Star section. Coven is also there. I haven't watched it. I don't know if I can say anything good or bad about it. You have? Would you recommend it?
I have. So it's funny because I remember enjoying 1 and 2, but I forgot how much I did enjoy it after now watching it. I'm like, yeah. The story is great. I was watching a little something on YouTube, and it was connecting some of the seasons together. I had to stop watching it, but it flashed some of the stuff from Covenant, and I was reminded just how great it is. Kathy Bates is fantastic in it. Like,
nice.
I just love her no matter what.
Yeah.
But
and she joins the show season 3.
She does. That's
Kathy
right.
Bates played.
Misery.
Yes. Yeah, I don't remember the name. Annie or something like that in Misery. But she's been playing a weird kind of. She played the unsinkable Mary Brown in Titanic.
Yeah.
So she was great in that. But yeah, I love Kathy Bates. She's great in Freak Show. We've seen her in that.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so if you guys are just like, hey, well, I want to check out the show, if you have Disney Plus, it's on Disney Plus the first 3 seasons, and then you'll be stuck on your own to kind of find other ways if you want to keep watching it.
It's dark and twisted. Like, as long as you're up for that kind of a thing, the storylines are big enough that it keeps you entertained. You want to know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So, but it is kind of dark.
Same cast. Relatively, let's say 80% fair, 80% same cast.
I would say, yeah.
From season to season. So it's cool seeing, and then the next season someone will play, all the characters play different things. But yeah, good show. Good show. I burned through the second season in like 2 days.
Yeah.
Whilst doing other things. So it's, whilst not accomplishing a lot of other things because I was so drawn in by the plot and watching it. We also, I wanted to just throw this out there too, because we didn't, I didn't get a chance to even mention it off the top, is we also went to Meek. Was that Saturday? It couldn't have been Saturday. Friday must have been the night we went out, because we went to Onesie Mika's place on Saturday for the bonfire.
Yeah, Saturday.
So we went to the movie on Friday. It must have been. But yeah, we went to Mika's for a bonfire. Kiddos came with us.
Yeah, it was great.
That was great. So shout out to Mika. Thanks for the invite. We had a good time. Thanks for letting the whole family come by. Brody had a great time because Mika's got like the same sort of motorcycle thing that he's working on.
Yeah, so, Brody got this like adapted bike that has a motor on a regular bike. That was his message to me when he was trying to get a hold of me. I guess he had a little fall, but he's okay. He's doing well. He's not hurt or anything, but he said it's quite the story. So when we're done here, I'll give him a call.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And then Mix was crushing it with the animals.
Yeah.
She's a big, like she mentioned on last week's episode, she's a big animal person. And so she had a good time playing with the dog and the cat. I think Mika would be comfortable with me saying the animals' names, but Bruno, his chocolate lab, and Rambo, his black cat.
Yeah, they were cute.
Yeah, and Mix was having a blast with the animals.
Yeah, they're really cute.
Yeah, no, it was a good time. It was a great time, a really good time. And before moving to go ahead. Before moving on to the top 5, I just want to say we have to do the shittiest movie. And by we, it means me. So one of the times... Oh, no, you go ahead. You go ahead. Thank you, though. We're refilling the water cups here while we do the podcast, guys. Keeping the old whistle wet is a way to do it. Slurping being a staple of the podcast. Going Overboard. Ivan sent an email last week and suggested the movie Going Overboard starring, to put it loosely, Adam Sandler. And Ivan was absolutely correct. It is a great suggestion for shittiest movie. One of the shittiest movies that I have to say was not enjoyable. I didn't like it. I don't know how Adam Sandler ever got another movie after this. It's on Tubi, so it's free for any of you to watch. Although I doubt you'll want to listen to it or watch it after listening to this review. It's about a guy who is a waiter on a cruise ship, and he wants to be a stand-up comedian. On this cruise ship, there's already a ship comedian who's loved by everybody because he's so funny. He's awful. He's obnoxious, awful. Hey, yo, let me tell you something, girl. Blah, blah, blah. You know what? I'm like, hey, why don't you suck my balls? Like, it's just like the dumbest, the things that people get upset for old people not laughing at, like that dumb juvenile stuff. Terrible. The characters are all as hacky as you can possibly imagine. Adam Sandler isn't like Billy Madison or Happy Gilmore. Obviously, his 2 big breakthrough roles in terms of, but like, oh, like that. Adam Sandler's doesn't do anything like that. He does more of the, oh geez, I don't know. I sure would like to be the guy that does this thing here, but I don't know how. Like it's just so the whole thing awkward, uncomfortable. The scenes go on way too long, like scenes from this podcast, but they go on way too long. Where it's like, the point of what you needed was there, and it's just going on longer. It's not going on longer because they're doing jokes. It's just like. It's odd. It's odd.
Like low budget? Like, do you think
seems incredibly low budget? And thank you for bringing that up, because the whole movie. This is the thing too. The whole movie looks like they had to when you're watching something, and like they're outside but it sounds like they've recorded their voice in like
Yeah.
a studio. You're like, oh, that's not what it would sound like outside at all. So the whole movie, you hear the background sounds and everything, but it sounded like they had to like re-record everyone's voices afterwards because on location the sound was so bad you couldn't hear them. So like they're like it's outside noises, seagulls and stuff, and then you're hearing like perfect studio.
Weird.
Perfect is so wrong, but you're hearing like a studio recording of what was said at the time. The mouths don't quite
Yeah.
line up with the words at times, and you're
that
like,
sucks.
did they record this and have like lav mics on them, you know,
Yeah.
or did they literally re-record like every scene's audio after the fact because it was just so bad in the moment? Yeah, terrible movie, shittiest movie. Great recommendation for shittiest movie. Women in like, every scene. They're trying to make it look like, oh yeah, there's all these women that just want to bang a goofy guy. There's like one guy who's like a rock star who has really shitty teeth, like awful, horrendous, like gunk in your teeth, you know, like he was eating grass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like just sod pieces of dirt and grass stuck in. And it's like all the women want him because he's like the lead singer. Just, terrible. It's on Tubi. Going Overboard. Adam Sandler's in it. Billy Zane is in it. And Billy Bob Thornton is in it.
Really?
Yeah. I don't remember the
Must
year.
be young.
Yeah, but it's like the whole thing is awful. There's the same scenes happen over and over again. So it's like he's trying to do comedy and he sucks at it. Right. And you would think like, okay, they showed the scene where he sucks. So it's like he needs to learn how to get better. Yeah. But there's several scenes where every time he tries to, you think, oh, maybe this time, like this is the scene where he like learns how to do it right. It's like, nope, just another scene where he does comedy, sucks at it. Someone makes fun of him. And you're like, it's not driving the plot. Like, the pacing, again, I know I'm guilty of this in the podcast with no notes, but this is a fucking movie with a budget, you know, like they don't pace it out properly where you think like, okay, the first one you're going to show how he sucks. He's going to give up. Someone's going to give him a pep talk. He's going to try again and then maybe try something and it works. Oh, okay. And then he runs that. And then there's the montage where you see him doing night after night and it's working. Like, you know what I mean? No pacing, no story. It's just scenes, random scenes that never just really go anywhere.
Do you think it was like a movie that was trying to showcase comedy in a weird way? Like, do you ever watch Jokers from
Impractical Jokers?
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. They made a movie.
Yeah.
Well, the movie makes no sense because you could tell all they're trying to do is showcase the different jokester things that they do. So the storyline just didn't add up.
It's excruciating. No, because there's not a lot of stand up in it. It takes a long even the ship Joker is like sitting in lounge chairs on the deck, like, and all the women are around him. So it's there. You don't get any stand up until like I don't know, an hour into the movie. So yeah, like if it had been a vessel for like he's doing stand up, but it's all garbage. So even if it was like, let's showcase the stand up, it's like,
no, not quite.
No, it's awful. Again, Ivan, perfect suggestion for the shittiest movie. Perfect suggestion for this movie. I've never heard of this movie. Didn't know it existed. It was a very young Adam Sandler. Again, don't know how anyone ever gave him a second look after this movie.
Crazy.
So bad. Shittiest movie, no question. All right, before we get to top 5, we got an email from Red that I'm going to bang out here. You ready for it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought you were talking to the onesies.
No, I'm talking to you. When I
I'm ready.
All right, so from Vanessa, aka Red, who at the exact same moment that I was doing this just came online on PlayStation. So Red says the title episode 224/225. Hey there, buddy. Meant to send something last week, but it's been a busy one getting ready for back to school. A couple episodes ago, you were talking about dubbed and subtitled television shows. I wanted to suggest 2 that are on Netflix that I really enjoyed. They are both along the sci-fi vein, but in different ways. First one is Dark, an English dubbed German television series. It's about time travel and it's definitely mind-bending. It jumps around different timelines and you may feel super confused at times, but don't worry, they do a really good job of reminding you who's who and how things relate. So don't worry too much that you are losing track. It's got a great ending and it's overall super satisfying. It's complete now, so you can binge watch it till your heart's content. So that's number 1, called Dark.
I've seen that pop up.
Have you?
I have.
Okay.
I've been kind of.
Did you write it down? Okay,
yeah,
good,
I totally
good.
wrote it down. I like those foreign stuff for some reason. I just like the.
Well, I was bragging about that one that you told me to watch, the hashtag alive or whatever it was. The next is Katla, Katla, an English dubbed Icelandic series. I would tell you what it's about, but it's almost better for me to say nothing. It's good, though. Only one season so far, but there will be a second. Again, mind-bendy, and although much of it is dubbed and some of it is captioned, some of the actors are actually speaking English, you will notice, which is a bit trippy.
That's cool.
Yeah. She said, also, you should definitely watch Chernobyl, even just to see how crazy the whole situation was. Great show.
We really should.
Yeah. She said, also, the whole time you were talking about the movie Zombievers, I thought you were saying Zombieverse.
That's so funny.
Multiverse, but Zombieverse.
That would be a good movie title, too.
Wouldn't be too bad. Zombieverse instead of Zombievers. Yeah.
Michaela likes it, too.
Yeah, Mix is in the background. She's on the couch. We're checking in with her every now and again. But yeah, she said, yeah, which made no sense until I finally figured out you weren't saying that at all. Oh man, I had so many other things to comment on, and now I forgot. Oh well, this is enough for now. Peace out, Girl Scout.
Cute.
I think that's cute. Personally, Red's got a lot of funny ones. So Red, of course, has co-hosted the podcast with me as well at times. Thanks for the email, Red. I like that. So we've got potentially other series, Dark and Katla.
Cool.
Katla, I don't know nothing about, but we can definitely give it a try. See what we think. We are all about subtitles. In fact, that's what you said to me in the movie theater when we were there at one point.
Oh, I did. I was like, I miss subtitles.
Yeah. Especially when everything's a quiet scene and people are like whispering to each other. We're all about subtitles. Multi-generational. I don't think anybody in the house prefers stuff with no subtitles on.
That's true. We were watching the movie the other night, and Josh had put on the subtitles, which I don't know why they weren't already on. Maybe because we rented it. I don't know.
We rented it off of like iTunes or something, so maybe it wasn't a default setting choice.
For sure. But then you were like, hey, is everyone okay? And Brody was like, I have these on all the time with everything I do.
Yeah.
So it really is just...
It's so helpful.
Yep.
There are times where subtitles ruin. You know,
yeah, they kind of give stuff away.
Yeah, like moments before. It's not a huge thing, but when tension is there and it's like crashing, and you're like, oh, really? Okay, get ready for it. Or
who's speaking?
Yeah, that happened to us. I think I talked about that movie, Don't Hang Up, where they hang up constantly, where basically like these people call the cops, and whenever the quote unquote cop speaks, it literally said the name of the killer on the screen. So we already know it's the killer that they're talking to. They have not reached the police. So that whole scene, you're like, all right, it's the killer. So there's no reason to get excited for them. Like, that's not going to be a big reveal because the subtitles have already told us that that's not happening. So that was a time when subtitles can do you wrong. So thank you, Red, for the email. Really appreciate that. Always keep sending them in, guys. Contact at onemanpodcast.com. You send it, I read it. That's the deal. Top 5 time.
All right.
Top 5 time. Top 5 this week, guys. I said it off the top of the show. And hopefully you haven't had an hour and 25-minute drive, according to the timer on the recorder here. Top 5 awful driver habits / behavior. Excuse me, guys. I'm so like discouraged with this cough. I just want to feel better.
I know.
Yeah. Soon. I hope this is not one of the last episodes of the podcast. He died.
Oh my gosh.
Delta variant.
Go see a doctor. Victim. Give it up.
I will.
You're
I've got.
Okay.
I'm not really worried with the variant. I just keep saying it because every time people say it, I just don't like it takes so long to get better afterwards.
But that's not uncommon. There's so many times when you don't feel well and then it moves into your lungs and then you usually need a doctor.
There. Yeah.
Some antibiotics.
I thought I was getting better. Like yesterday, I was like, you know what? I don't think I have any issue with my lungs right now. I'm like, they're actually clearing out. And then I woke up this morning. If I put the humidifier on last night and everything, I'm like, yeah, let's just give it a real good chance. Woke up this morning, super sore bronchial tubes.
Yeah.
Oh, well. That's not interesting content for you guys. Guys, bad drivers, that's what you want to hear about. You want to lead this one off?
Doesn't matter.
Yeah? Yeah, I'll let you go first. So, again, top 5. What's coming in at number 5 for awful driver habits / behavior for you?
So this one's just super basic. So 5, right? We're starting with?
Yeah.
Just no signaling. I mean, that's a pain in the ass. It's kind of annoying. I can live with it, but it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah. When you're driving, all of a sudden, oh, fuck, you're coming in my lane. Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, shitty. I had that on my list of ideas. It didn't make the top 5 though, but I'm glad you put it on there because that way we got to talk about it. Yeah. So the amount of people I've heard say, "Well, I don't need to say. I know where I'm going." It's like,
yeah, but nobody else
not
does.
for
it's
you.
not about you.
Yeah, they don't put a signal on, so you're like, click. Where am I going again? Oh, cool. I wrote it. I clicked it on right there. I reminded myself of where I'm going. No, it's for other people. The whole idea is communication. There's a lot of human beings who are bad at just communication in general, and you're just bringing that lack of courtesy and communication into the road. Yeah, it's. I would imagine everyone writing down a top 5 list of bad drive. Here's the thing: I wonder if bad drivers tried to ever think about like other people's driving habits.
Oh, I'm sure.
Do you know what I mean?
I'm sure they have a longer list than anyone.
You think
else.
so? The ones who are discourteous. Yeah. That's a fair point. I was wondering, did you ever stop and think and go, oh, wait a second, I'm guilty of this. I'm guilty of that.
It depends on what kind of bad driver you are. If you're like, you think you're super confident, and you just rule the road and you just fuck everyone else, then that they probably have a massive list of everyone they're pissed at.
Yeah.
Or you're a super anxious driver and everything scares the shit out of you.
Yeah. But you always,
then you probably already have a big list of everything that scares you.
Right. And you're I find you're 10 times more likely to be about to cause an accident or doing something wrong when you're overly anxious and scared.
Absolutely. That's
like
worse.
the people who pull halfway out into the road and go, oh, there's something coming. It's like, well, no, you're too far out. This is not on my list, but another one that comes to mind. You're too far out now. Like now you have to keep going because that car that's coming that scared you and made you stop, you're in its path now.
Yeah.
You got to keep going. It's too late to be scared. Anyways, my number 5, waving somebody. So this is, I'll say it and then I'll explain it. Waving somebody like by, and then they wave you. So this one bothers the shit out of me. And I it probably should be up higher than number 5, but it's not it's not one that hurts anybody. You can't get in shit. But so when you come to a stop and the other person comes to stop, now there's obviously, for some people don't know, there's the right of way. So when you
isn't that common? Isn't that in the book? I think everyone needs to.
Yeah, of course they should. So many people don't. Right? When 2 people come to the stop sign at the exact same time, it's who's the rightmost car. Right? That person gets to go first. But sometimes those people come to the same intersection at the same time or whatever, or 2 people come. I
purposely slow down so that it will
they get there first.
It'll be clear as to who got there first.
Okay, that's a good strategy.
Because I don't want to deal with the whatever, and instead of racing to it, I just extra slow down.
No, that's a good way of getting around it because you're like, okay, you were here first. But even when those events don't happen, sometimes it doesn't happen. Or you get there second, and then that person like waves you to go. What I hate is like a lot of times I will like wave the person like, go ahead. We both got here at the same time. Just go ahead. I'm not in a hurry or whatever. I feel rushed.
Yeah, exactly. So just go and I don't have to worry about it.
Wave. Go ahead. You go ahead. No big deal. But then they go, no, you go.
And then you're both doing it to each other.
That's the part I hate.
And then you both go at the same time.
Right. Go, stop. Oh no. It's because as soon as you both tell each other to go, it's like, okay, well now who's going to go? You told me, I told you.
Yeah.
I start to move. You start to move. We both stop. We wait longer to let the other person go. They don't go. Start to wave again. No, you go. Okay, fuck. All right, I'll start to go. Oh, now you've decided you're going to go. It's just enough. Yeah. That second person not just going with the first person's suggestion fucks everything up.
Yeah.
Now, it's not the end of the world. I'm not trying to say that it is, but my policy is whoever waves first, you just go.
Yeah.
You take the courtesy. You don't go, oh, no, that's okay. You go. Because then you end up with all right, let's move. It's like those people. It's like that old cliche of like walking down the street and both people are trying to move out of the other one's way, but they're moving into each other the same direction.
Yeah.
It's that same thing. So that's my policy. You're a terrible driver if someone waves you by and then you go, no, you go.
Yeah.
You're not being courteous. You're actually creating a frustration. And now you're both going to be stuck at this intersection longer than you had to be.
Yeah.
For this. This is just my number 5. Number 5, guys, there's 4 other ones worse. Your number 4, lady?
My number 4. Not parked properly. So like in a parking lot, they're either, parked diagonal just to be a dick, or they're just like too close to the line and they're right beside your car. Like when you come and you can barely get into your car, or they try to get out of their car and probably fucking hit your car.
Yeah.
Like that stresses me out so much. I'm always so cautious whenever I'm parking.
Yep. To
make sure I've given a good distance from myself and my passenger.
Yep. I'll speak to that more on my list a little later on. But yeah, I've had that where I'm like, how the fuck am I supposed to get into my car? Like literally can't open the door. If I open the door, there's like 3-inch clearance.
Yeah.
And most people should know how big I am. Like, it's not to the point where I can't even get to the door. Forget like, oh, I can't open the door and get in. I can't get to the door.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's rude as fuck. And that person, yeah. And then usually their driver's side is, they got lots of space on their side, so they haven't. I should have put on this list, the worst behavior is not being considerate of others. That should be number one, is not looking at everything around you and just being self-centered. The parking in two spots, parking diagonally in two spots, whatever. The arrogance or pickup trucks.
Yeah.
But the fucking arrogance. Onesies, I love you guys, but if you're that person who parks in two spots, like, oh, that way someone can't fucking bang their door to me. I'm like, I'm careful of the piece of car. I want to smash your car when I see you parked like that. That's the first thing I'm like, oh, I want to put a note on your windshield like, oh, didn't realize the mayor was here today and needs the fucking two spots.
Yeah.
It's just so rude and entitled. Anyways, whatever. And I don't even know what you're doing at whatever place you are, but it's not that important.
Yeah.
I can tell you right now, you're just not as important as you think you are. Oh, I hate you.
I know.
I hate that. It's
when you get a new car, though, I don't know about you, but I park the furthest spot in the parking lot. That way you're still parking properly, but you're being mindful because, it's brand new and you don't want any dings or whatever, right?
I got that one on my list.
Okay.
Yeah. We're going to get there. My number 4 is when people are sitting at a red light in the far right lane when they're going straight.
Oh, yeah.
So we talked about this one briefly before the show, but now if it's a single lane street, well, there's nothing you can do about it. You're in your lane, and if you're not going right, well, then you just have to wait. But there's streets that have 3-4 lanes, and those other 3 lanes are going straight.
Yeah.
Or maybe the far left one is a turn lane. But the idea is that there's several lanes. And if you're going straight, when you go into the far right lane and just sit there, you're blocking everybody from being able to turn right who's going to turn right. You know, I've done that happen so many times. And here's the thing. A lot of people go, well, what's the big deal? You just wait. And then the thing, sure, you're waiting, 2-3 minutes for that. But if there's 4 cars lined up trying to turn right, it's called flow of traffic. You're literally congesting things needlessly. I mean, I'm sure a lot of these people don't realize that they're not thinking of it. There might even be the odd person who's like, well, what if you're like turning right after the light? Well, it doesn't fucking matter. You can change lanes on the other side and switch over. It's not the end. Like, it's not always the worst thing. But if you know, I'll tell you what, I'll put this caveat here. If you know your city and you know the streets that you're parking in, if you know it's a street that has a shitload of people turning right, and then you sit in that lane at the red light and you're blocking everyone from being able to turn right, you're literally creating congestion. Oh, light turns green, I'm going to be turning left on the next or right on the next block. Well, then change into that lane on the next fucking block. That right lane, just as a general practice, should be one that's for right-hand turns at the light. If someone's going to go straight, let them be the asshole, not you. That's what I always do. I always pick one of the other 2 lanes if I'm going straight so that I leave that right lane free. You
know what I just thought of? You know how we came up with this, right?
No, I remember you telling me.
Yeah, we always chat at the end of the day, and I'm driving on my way home, and I'm always bitching about shit happening around me, and I was like, this is what your top 5 should be.
Yeah.
Remember that?
You're a little demon on the road. You got a lead foot, and did you get, why do you look upset?
No, I get impatient.
I like your lead foot. I would rather you're not an aggressive driver, like riding people's asses.
No,
but you're not one of those, this is not on my list either. I feel like just this whole thing, I'm cheating if I just start talking about all these other things I don't like on the road. But there's people who like that's not on my list. I can't cheat and talk about other things that bother me.
No?
But you're a lead foot in the sense that you're not flying over the speed limit, but you don't fuck around on the road. You know what I mean? Like when light turns green, you go.
Yeah.
So I respect that. You even take off and shit faster than me. You're a little rough on your lane changes and stuff. You kind of go quick. A little bit. Not horrible. You're not a bad driver. Mm-hmm. Like, again, I would rather you are a little more on the aggressive, assertive side than mousy and scared and gonna get hit. So no, you're fine. I'm not worried about you. You're a very courteous driver, but you're confident is a fair word. You're a very confident driver. But I'll be talking to you on the phone and you'll be like, yeah, so like today at work I had to put it in dude, what the fuck? You'll be like, okay, buddy. All right, dude. Hello. Like, just, come on in here, motherfucker. And I was like, okay, wow. Yeah. You only curse when you're on the road.
Pretty much.
Yeah, you're not a big swearer. So yeah, that was my number 4 is when someone's sitting in the far right lane. There's other lanes you could be in to go straight, but you're just blocking a bunch of people from turning right because, your head's in the clouds or whatever it is. Number 3, lady.
Okay, driving 60 in an 80 with busy enough traffic that you can't go around.
Oh yeah.
So I drive down like a 2-lane highway, so one each way.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I don't know if that's what they're called, but yeah, there's 2 lanes.
I feel like I'm saying it wrong, but
there's no break in between.
There's one-way traffic both ways, right?
And they're attached, like you're not.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
So I drive a lot of these like country roads.
Right.
And it's such a fucking pet peeve in the morning when you've got this one person and you can't go around because there's cars, but there's just that much of a gap between each car that you can't quite go around. And then you're just stuck. And I'd be driving and like I see a sign coming up that says 80.
Right.
And I'm like, do you see it? Do you see it? Do you see it? Nope, didn't see it.
Oh, fuck.
And they're still doing 60. Yeah.
Your car's got some balls, so I would imagine you drive around these people.
I try to when I can. I'm also those roads though. I'm weird. I like a really nice big gap. I don't like cutting it close because it stresses me when I see a car doing the opposite. So.
Yeah, no, that's definitely not driving the speed limit is fucking infuriating.
Yeah.
My number 3 was parking next to me in a vacant lot.
Oh.
I will do what you said before. Where
that's hilarious. Why would you do that? It's
people
like sitting beside you on an empty bus.
Yeah, that was exactly what I was going to say. Is that's what people do? Is you're literally like, okay, it's my new car. I'm parking at the back of the lot where no one wants to park. You know what I mean? So leave me the fuck alone, everybody. Or you'll pick a row. There's no cars. You park there. Then you come out and there's a car right next to you. That happened to me today. I believe.
Really?
I'm trying to think. Yeah, it happened to me today. I parked all by myself. This was at Long and McQuaid when I went and picked up the recorder. No cars in the lot at all. I parked way over to the side. No other cars. Come out. Car parked right next to me. Again, the rest of the lot was empty. Same thing. You're trying to protect your car from dings, scratches, bangs. Like, what is this person thinking? Like, oh, is that where we're supposed to park?
Right.
Out of all these
I think so. Sometimes it is.
If anyone knows why that is, if you're that person who's like, I just don't want to be alone. I don't know what it is that makes someone go, plenty of room. Yeah. Or if you're the person who sits next to somebody on a bus that's all by themselves.
Yeah.
That's creepy. It feels like invasion of personal space. Yeah. That's what it is. You're invading my car's personal space.
Yeah.
I don't like that. Get the fuck out of here.
Leave my car alone.
Yes, sit next to me on the bus when that's the last seat and you have to. Other than that, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
All right. Number 2 for you, lady.
Aggressive driving. So I know we talked about me being lead foot or whatever, but aggressive, I mean like, you make a little mistake or something and the person's like, fuck you, and like yelling their head out the window, or they're like right up behind you on your ass all the time.
Yeah.
And you could see them trying to go around you, but they're being so impatient and so aggressive about it.
They're going to cause an accident. They're fucking animals. I've seen people do that and they're right up behind them. Like, what if that person has to stop for something abruptly and you smash them? Yeah. You're going to be at fault.
Absolutely.
Your frustration and road rage.
I go right to the speed limit at that point. I don't slow down, but I go right on the speed limit just to be like, fuck you. Because if you do anything, you're at fault. Oh,
I've been on places where it's like, and again, for my American listeners, we're referring to kilometers an hour, not miles. So what she's saying, doing 60 in an 80.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. But I'm saying like, I was just about to say like, I'll be doing 90 in an 80. And someone's riding my ass. I'm like, I'm already 10 over the speed limit. Like,
chill yourself.
You can come up behind me, but riding my ass, and there's nowhere for you to go. Like, I'm sorry, but I'm not catching the ticket.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So that you can go a little bit faster. Fuck you. No, I'm with you on that. My number 2 is driving slow in the left lane. When you're in the passing lane.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so many people that will just sit in that lane and go as fast as the car, like literally sitting next to the car in the right lane. It's literally called the passing lane. You're not even
trying to go ahead.
No. You're just like, I'm just in this lane. It's just a lane, right? It's like, no. The whole point of that lane is to pass.
Yeah.
Right? Is you get up to speed. Now, here's the thing. Sometimes I will say this, like it's not like you can never be in that lane unless you're going fast. There's people who will be behind, going 140, right? A lot of places where we are, it's like, 100, So there's 2 lanes and that person's riding the lane and they're doing 110. You know, it's like you're barely going more than the speed limit. You shouldn't be in the passing lane. Now, granted, I would say like 120, 125 is fair. If you're doing 125 already, you're 25 over the speed limit. You're 25% over the speed limit as well. You know, any faster than that, and yet you really run the risk of catching a ticket.
Yeah.
So as long as someone's doing that, I can live with it. However, if you're up at 125 and you're still matching the speed of the person right next to you, slow down and fall back in line or speed up and get out of the way. You don't get to just match the speed of the car next to you and literally create a rolling wall where no one can get by. That whole lane exists purely for the purpose of passing if you want to go faster or whatever. It is not your personal little luxury cruise. The amount of people who can have like 9 cars behind them all waiting to go around them and they're just... You drive past them, you look at them and like, they don't even know.
They don't know what's
They're
happening.
not even paying attention. They're like, oh, I wonder why there's so many cars beside me. Like I've had, like, don't get me wrong, I'm human. I've had times where maybe I wasn't paying attention or whatever, but all it takes is 1 or 2 cars to pass me on the right to go, oh shit, I'm holding shit up. I got to get the fuck over. It's very rare. I'm very mindful of it now, but early days where you're like, when you see, you know, it's like, oh, you're not supposed to pass people on the right. It's like, well, sometimes you don't have a fucking choice.
Exactly.
They're literally just hogging the lane areas. I go on too long. We both spend so much time driving that these are like, these are literally like discourteous. It's like people not holding the door open for you when you're walking as a pedestrian.
Yeah.
There's like so many simple courtesies that people could do, cost you nothing, just self-absorbed. Anyways, I'm so sorry. You're number 1.
My number 1, I feel like this happens all the time. And it's just, how do I break it down? Just not managing your lane properly.
Okay.
You know, just stay in your fucking lane, stay in the center. Now, if you look at your car, you're not centered in your car. You know, you're a little off to the left when you're driving. But people will push themselves right to the edge of their lane so that they're almost driving on the line. And then you can't drive properly. And your lane should go by. So you have to swerve a little bit to go around because they're not in their lane.
Yeah.
That pisses me off so much. And in that same thing with managing your own lane, when they've got those wide lanes that allow for someone to go straight, but then you could possibly turn right if you needed to. Yeah. You could fit 2 cars there. Yes. You can, but people don't. They'll stay right in the middle and block everything, and then you can't do that right turn.
Yeah. There's a lot of people I will notice that like they don't do that. And then when you come up behind them with your right blinker on and you're way over to the side, sometimes they'll pull forward and try to make room. I like when someone makes the adjustments.
You just didn't notice, and that's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. There's definitely ways to correct. And then some people just don't. Same thing when like someone's got like a car length and a half in between them and the thing in front of them. And if they pull forward, you can get by on the right or left or whatever it is. And just people, there's so many simple things that people do that are so discourteous on the road.
Absolutely.
But yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean. It's like, hey, like this lane's big. But just, that's the thing too, is you go, if you're a driver, you got to know.
Right?
You gotta know, like, there's room
know?
for 2 cars. We're in an intersection. I'm not turning right, but there's I even pull up when I'm going to an intersection. I'm even looking for like the lines on the road. I mean, sometimes there's cars, but I'm even like, okay, there's 2 lanes in front of me across the street, and there's 3 lanes here. Am I in the right lane to go straight? Or, you know, sometimes on the left, there's 2 left turn lanes, and the far right one is the one that goes straight across or whatever it is. It's just, it's being aware of what's going on. And there's so many people who are just head in the clouds driving like, I'm in the middle of the lane. That's how you're supposed to drive. It's like, nope, you're just, and the thing is the main thing is all of these negative, discourteous ways of driving are what slow down traffic all. Because you got these people, hundreds of them at intersections all over the city, slowing down traffic when it could be going. That's what's congesting things. It's not the only thing congesting things, but all of these lead to congestions.
I'm thinking of more things.
Yeah.
It's all popping in.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. My number 1 is fucking around at a left turn light. This drives me crazy to no end. I don't really struggle with road rage or anything. It's more of my frustration with lack of courtesy and lack of paying attention. There's people who will sit and it's like the left turn light is not the left turn light, because if it's a left turn light, they can go. But it's like, you know, when you have a green light and you pull out in the intersection and it's like you can turn left, but you got to wait for the oncoming traffic to stop first. It's these people who will like have the green light, right? There's no designated left turn light, or even after that left turn light has gone and they're just at the middle of the intersection. There's those people who they won't pull forward. They sit right back at the line, which is going to delay things because
Do you know you're supposed to?
stay at the line?
You are.
Yeah, maybe.
You're not supposed to, apparently. So I've heard of someone who actually, it was marked as an X on their driver's test.
Right.
Because you're not supposed to pull forward.
Right.
So I think it's stupid too. I think it helps move traffic. I agree.
Yeah.
However, technically you're not allowed to do that.
Well, that's a fair point. And if someone, like, if I smash someone's window and drag them out of their car and they're like, I was just following the rules, I would let them live.
Yeah.
If they're like, that's the law, I was just trying to, like, that part of it, I would let them live. But I would say, for starters, pull forward, because that's going to give maybe two cars a chance to turn left. Let's just say traffic keeps coming until the very end. At least if you had pulled forward in the intersection, maybe another person can hug up behind, and now two of you will get to go when that light turns yellow or whatever. If you're already in the intersection, that's the law too, is that you have to get out of the intersection when your light changes, which is kind of the technicality.
Well, that's why they tell you, though, not to go into the intersection, because if you're stuck in there, then you're still blocking traffic, right? So they want you back there.
I get it. And the funny thing is that that's really only the for one part of this.
Yeah, totally.
So when I say fucking around, it's like, I would say pull forward if you can. These are the people that piss me off, is when you're stuck behind them, they're not pulling forward, and you see a gap in the left turn traffic, they don't go. Right? Nice big gap, they don't go. They're being overly cautious, like we talked about earlier. Right? And then cars come, they don't go. And now the light's getting ready to change. And then all of a sudden they can thread the needle like nobody's business. There's just a little small gap and they're going to fucking fly through. So they fucked around the whole light, right? Not going, whatever. Like if they just sat there and the light turned red on them, I'm like, there's just a pussy. And they're going to need a long, big break in the traffic.
Yeah.
But they managed to, for lack of a better term, man up right as the light's changing. Right at that last second, it's literally yellow, and then they go through, and you're like, okay.
No one else can go.
And no one else can go. It's like, so you were a pussy. You didn't move forward. You didn't drive.
Yeah.
You know, you didn't take advantage of all those big gaps. Ones that were like I'm talking 2-3 times larger than the gap they end up deciding to use at the end. And you're like, fuck you.
Does that happen often to you?
All the
Really?
fucking time. Like, not every day, but there's so many times where you're just like, just go. And if, like I said, if they didn't go right at the very end, I'd still be like, oh, you could have gone.
Yeah.
But I'm like, but you're scared. But the idea that like they went in that last moment when there was way less time, it's just like, oh, you just fucked like 5 or 6 cars that could have gone with all those other gaps. And because of your choices, now you still were unaffected by them. You still got to go with the light, but everybody else doesn't because of your hesitation. That one, again, it just seems so incredibly discourteous that you still get to go, but no one else does. We're all stuck here for another. And I'm saying, like, this is generally speaking some of more of those, like, I'm thinking like those intersections that are like the worst ones where it's like 2, 3, 4 minutes before it's your turn again. And again, going back to my point, you're creating more congestions. More cars aren't going that could have gone. Traffic's not moving. Things are backing up. This is how, rush hour traffic gets worse and worse and worse. So that's the one. The fucking around, left turn, and then being the only one who goes is the long version of what I put in number 1. Guys, the top 5 awful driver habits / behaviors. If you have them, please. We didn't say anything. If there's anything that fucking irks you, I had more on my list.
I know. I just thought of a bunch more.
Yeah. So, and some of them may have even been, more than what should have, deserved to be on the list and weren't, but there's so many bad behaviors as drivers out there. And we're not advocating anything unsafe. I'm not telling people these people should be driving out and, taking chances. I'm literally like, you were safer and you didn't go.
Just follow the rules, guys.
Hippie.
Right?
Just
follow the rules, guys.
Yeah, that's actually like the opposite of a hippie. Sorry. Prude? Does that make more sense? I'm just fucking around anyways. Right? So, thank you for doing this with me.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was fun.
Yeah, of course. Coming up this week, guys, more American Horror Story, I hope. I leave October 11th, which is, you guys are hearing this on the 8th, so it's like just a hair more than a month left at home. So there's a lot of things I'm going to have to figure out and organize. But this week I will make a solid attempt. I don't really have any work or anything like that, so I'm going to make a solid attempt to maybe get the cameras out and the ring lights and just try to see what filming myself sitting at my desk will look like. Not for the podcast, just to dick around with, hitting record, lighting, moving the file onto the computer and fucking around with iMovie, like just to move this forward. So sorry to disappoint anyone who was like, oh, we really wanted to see a video podcast. When so many people are subscribed that maybe we're making a little bit of money from sponsors and stuff, and I can hire a production person, someone else who has 12 hours a week for the money that I can pay them to do the editing, then by all means we'll do a video podcast on a regular basis. But as it stands, I don't have the time. I barely get this thing done on time, and it just takes me, holy fuck, it's almost 2 hours. You did it.
Wow.
How do you feel?
I'm ready for bed, but this was fun. It was fun. I'm just tired. Yeah,
of course. I'm gonna go get a couple mama burgers, throw those down my gullet, and then pass out from meat poisoning. Imagine I got sued for that. Their meat's not. It's the itis, the sleepy, the meat sweats or whatever. Yeah. That's what I was going for. It was like meat poisoning.
Doesn't turkey do that?
That's what they say, but it's just effectively you just eat and you're full.
It's too much.
Yeah, I can't do it. Onesies, I hope you guys have the best week ever. Contact at onemanpodcast.com to send in your emails, your shitty movie suggestions. This proves it. You can make me watch a terrible Adam Sandler movie that I will hate my life for. But we do it. That's what we do here. Again, lady, thank you for joining me. Welcome back to the podcast.
Thank you.
You and I have been together for some time now, so that's not new for us, but it's new for them.
Absolutely.
And glad to have you back in my life. Glad to have you back on the podcast.
Yeah.
And onesies, I hope you have the best week ever, and I look forward to talking to you again soon.